All right, let's talk about Jimmy G, Jimmy Garoppolo, first game with the Raiders, undefeated with the Raiders. I mean, hey, love Jimmy or hate Jimmy, all he does is win, it seems. The guy's record is incredible. I thought he had a solid game in this one. It wasn't perfect, and we'll get into the negatives as well, but for the most part, he looked like Jimmy Garoppolo. I think at this point, we've seen enough of Garoppolo to know what he is, but there were some questions about how much of him was propped up due to the Shanahan scheme. I do think we saw in this game that no, he is still the guy that I think we perceive him to be, which is a solid quarterback who's maybe not a superstar. He's known for being a game manager, but this play was not game manager-esque. This was a little bit of playmaking from Garoppolo. I'm not saying that's what he's known for. I do agree he is a game manager. I don't mean that as an insult, although you could take it as one if you wanted to. This play is just a really good play. I thought maybe his best play of the game, and such an important play on a 4th down and 1 right here. The way this is designed to work is you have Davante Adams on that side of the field, but he's really not trying to do a lot on this play. I mean, really his job is to kind of just, be, almost, throw a block here on the pick play for a 4th down and 1. It's a good concept. These plays typically work. I like the play call here. However, when it begins, just because I like the play call doesn't mean it's guaranteed to work out, and this time it did not. They're trying to get the ball to Jakobi Meyers, who I also thought had a nice game, but he's not open right here. This is good defense by Denver. They're all over it. And so what Davante is doing right here is he kind of looks around and says, hey, wait a second. I can just step backwards. Everyone's focused on covering the 1 yard line. There's no one really further deep, which is a dangerous thing to do because what if your quarterback tries to throw it to you and then you're out of position? But Garoppolo also notices what Davante is doing. Watch and I both recognize that at the same time, and instantly, once Garoppolo sees what Adams is doing, he throws it there, because if he waited just half a second, that would not have been a catch. That's just really smart football by both of those two players to end up picking up a 1st down on a play that was defended well. I mean, I always kind of split quarterback play into two different things. There's the, did you run the offense effectively? When the 7-yard gain was there, did you get 7 yards on it? And then there's the, when 0 yards are there, what do you do? Do you find a way to still get 10 yards and a 1st down? Do you find a way to, just get to 0 yards? Do you screw it up and make yourself lose 10? Garoppolo usually would, turn 0 yards into 0 yards, but every now and then can have a good playmaking play as well, as we saw here. Going over here, I think that, while I was a little bit lower on the Raiders due to some defensive concerns, I always felt like the Raiders should have a better offense than maybe some people were giving them credit for. Their defensive concerns certainly didn't show up in this one as well. Maybe that's a video for another day. I don't know. But Jakobi Meyers, I thought really had, a good day. Not to pat myself on the back because, I had. I'm not saying this in terms of, me being right about a bunch of stuff, just that, to add context, I've always been a big Jakobi Meyers fan. I thought he would fit this, this team really well, and so far he has. You're going to see it on a play like this, where I love this play. What a clever concept here to kind of have him fake as though he's running that, deep over the middle route. Not really deep, but, the over the middle route where you run to play action, get linebackers out of position. The corner has to now come in and try and make a play, but then they're going to have Meyers cut back towards the bottom of the screen. You see that when this happens, Meyers does fake as though he's going over the middle, but when he gets to the, gets back, he's wide open. I mean, the player who's coming from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen, he started off closer towards the sideline than Meyers. I mean, he just got fooled by that fake because that is a common play concept where you have the player run over the middle. Corner just assumed that's what was happening, so when Meyers made the extra move, he got wide open, and Garoppolo's not going to miss these. Meyers is able to make the catch, and he nearly breaks a tackle, but still a really good play from Jakobi Meyers, and I do kind of wonder, what are we going to see from Meyers now that he's not a wide receiver 1? I always kind of felt like he was pretty good for New England, but he always felt like more of like a wide receiver 2 or even wide receiver 3, but a good one at that, and someone who can, maybe make a lot of noise in a more of a limited role, with Davante taking away the double teams and stuff like that. So far, so good. Also, something like this is something that Garoppolo really brings to the table. I know that last play wasn't so much Garoppolo, it was more so the Raiders offense, but I'm kind of talking about the whole Raiders offense. However, I did think Jimmy G made some really key plays when he had to. I thought that he made some clutch plays in this one. The scramble, being able to pick up the 1st down late in the game to ice it. Obviously, that stuff was really good. But this play, I thought, was a really good play, where it's zone coverage, and what Garoppolo did so well in San Francisco Francisco was these timing routes. Again, yes, the Shanahan scheme, all of that, but we've seen bad quarterback play in the Shanahan scheme. I mean, we've seen when Garoppolo got hurt, with the exception of last year with Brock Purdy, usually the offense still struggled without him there. Like, I'm not saying it's all because of Garoppolo, obviously. The Shanahan scheme did help, but he did some nice things in that as well. And, the McDaniel scheme, not that different. Where, watch what's going to happen here. Garoppolo takes a snap, and this is 3rd down and 12, too, I should mention. So when Garoppolo times this one, this is perfectly timed. Is this open? Yeah, this is open. There's a window to make this throw because Davante Adams is really good at football, and he's able to get himself a decent chunk of separation. So good stuff by Adams. But also, this is the perfect time to throw this football. If you threw it a little bit earlier or a little bit later, it's now not as open, and you have to be more accurate, and you have to have a bigger arm to fit it through there quickly. A lot of times people view game management simply as just hitting the right player, but there's so much more to it than that. You have to hit the right player at the right time as well, and obviously you have to make an accurate ball and all of that stuff. So Garoppolo, perfectly timed, but can he make this throw? Well, yes, he can. Perfectly accurate as well. Adams is able to make the grab because, again, he's Davante Adams. He is good at football, and they're able to pick up a decent gain on that one. Now, going over to the interception, we can talk about the interception, and there's, to be honest, multiple ways you could take this. At the end of the day, like I said, I think this was a good performance from Garoppolo. There were some negatives, and kind of the one thing that drives you crazy about Garoppolo is it does seem like 2 snaps every game. He just plays like the worst player in the world. I didn't think it was necessarily this game that I feel that way about, but with San Francisco, it's he would be a good game manager, but then just completely lose his mind for a couple snaps. But anyway, Garoppolo takes a snap, and it's 3rd down and goal. You're down 3 points. You want the touchdown here. You don't want to settle for just a tie game. He's making this throw, and I do kind of wonder, I'm honestly not really going to critique him that much for this play. I mean, I do kind of wonder if he thought his receiver was going to kind of move closer towards the sideline, move in kind of right towards the goal line to make this catch, and then instead his receiver kind of took a step towards the middle of the field. This is kind of the inverse of that first play I showed you with Adams, where they were on the same page and they made it hit. This time it's Amir Abdullah, so running back, it's already a little bit of a risk doing this, especially a running back who only had 7 snaps in this game. He's not their starting running back, obviously. That goes to Jacobs, who had 47 of the running back snaps. I mean, he was basically the running back out there. He had a ton of snaps. But here, this throw is just further towards the outside. It gets batted up and intercepted. For sure, some bad luck there, as it did get batted up, but also you kind of got to get on the same page there with your halfback, with Abdullah, and just make sure that you don't screw those plays up anymore. It was a tough play. Fortunately for Las Vegas, it didn't end up coming back to haunt them at all, as they ended up being fine. But still, it's a play that certainly they would have liked to score on and not have to worry about, some of the stressful moments that would happen later on in the game. But as a whole, I mean, yeah, Garoppolo was Garoppolo. Garoppolo is not a bad quarterback. He's a solid quarterback. He wasn't outstanding, but he had a pretty solid game in this one, I thought. PFF was apparently a huge fan of his game. They had him graded as the 4th highest graded quarterback in week 1, and I kind of see why, because again, PFF grades a lot about batting average as opposed to hitting home runs, and Garoppolo is an incredibly high batting average player, and in this scheme, I think the offense is going to have success. I still want to see the defense in a bigger sample size, but going up against a good defense, and, Garoppolo had a really good day, I thought. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.